Good morning from beautiful Brisbane, Australia. My name's Linda and I'm your trauma recovery coach. Today I want to talk to you about body odour, hypoarousal and our heart. And I do have a funny story to tell you as well. Now if you're here for the first time, welcome. Feel welcome to grab a note paper and take some notes. Feel welcome to say g'day in the comments because I'll be able to see you. And if you have any questions, you're always more than welcome to ask. Now, I know today's heading is a bit enticing maybe, or we're all running from the conversation of body odour. Look, I wanted to have this conversation with you some time ago, but I wasn't sure how to go about it. And then today at the gym, I was talking to a lady about it. And I realised that we as women, we don't have, hi Serena, we don't have these conversations about body odour. And to be honest, it's not something that we may necessarily find socially acceptable, but we know that if there's body odour happening, it's not socially acceptable. But I found with hypoarousal, now what I'm going to do is put up the today's infographic and we'll go through it. I'll touch on it as we go through the story. Hi Craig, great to see you. As I go through the story, I'm going to touch on each point. Now, because I spent 2.5 years in bed and my brain was completely shut down, plus medical mismanagement, as I've come out of, I'm not out of the hypoarousal just yet, but obviously I can now walk and I can talk and I have my memory back. But what I found was when I started to move around, I didn't perspire. And it's taken a long time, over an extended period of time, for my body actually to let the muscles relax enough, let my internal system relax enough that I've actually started to perspire. Now, I've had to do a lot of internal work for that to happen. But what happened was, when I did start to perspire, I was like, oh, this just feels gross. I'm sorry if anyone feels comfortable perspiring, but I certainly didn't. And then what happened was, as a female, I went to, what do we have here? We have like this big warehouse and you can go and choose products. And what I found was, because I wanted to feel clean after I'd been perspiring, okay? I really needed to feel clean and I wasn't feeling that after just using normal shower stuff. So I went looking, okay? And I found that all the women's products, so this is one that I bought, they're all rich, creamy foam, gently cleanses and hydrates skin. Another common word is moisturise. I can't remember the other words now, but all along the same focus, that it makes you feel soft and gentle. And yeah, well, I didn't want that, okay? I wanted this. I wanted to get out of the shower and feel like the perspiration was gone. So when we're looking, so what I did was I took my son with me and I said, oh my goodness, I want to feel clean. How do we do this? So I had my son with me, and of course when you have sons, you've got to walk them through the whole body odour thing when they're a teenager. And I said, well, let's go look at the men's products. But I was terrified. I didn't want to come out of this whole situation smelling like a man for obvious reasons. But what I found was, and this is what we bought, okay, when you go to the men's section, when you're a man, you're allowed to be active. Did you know that? And it doesn't tell you how you're going to feel. And my big thing was, am I going to come out of this smelling like a man even though I feel clean? Well, the answer was no. We've progressed enough that you use this stuff and you feel clean, okay? Now, I'm telling you this story because we don't talk about this stuff. None of the women's stuff have the word active on them, so I wonder if who are they, advertising agencies, have ever surveyed any active women. And look, I want to impress upon you that active isn't, oh, I go to the gym and work out. Okay? Active for hypoarousal, especially when we are so shut down, our brain is so triggered and shut down, active each day is commitment, consistency, and it's 1 minute every day. Now, when I'm finished this, I'm going to put a couple of links down below, and if you do one action out of one of the videos for 1 minute a day, it makes a difference long term. Now, with our hypoarousal, our brain has been so triggered that we need more oxygen in our body. So when I first started exercising, exercise for me was actually getting out of bed and walking the hallway. And when I did it 4 times in one day, I was like, there's hope. There's hope that one day I'll be able to talk again and not be worried I'm going to fall over and so much more. It was just like, there's hope. So for me, that was my daily exercise, was to make myself get up and out of bed, walk to the other side of the house, sit on the computer for a while. And hi, Dorothy. Oh, hi, Kalina. It was the commitment to myself that every day I would do one thing that I could do and that I would keep doing it. So we do this not because we want to be exercise gurus, believe me, I don't. We do this because we have a commitment to ourselves to regain our life from the pressure of hypoarousal, okay? I won't go into all the neurology and biology and physiology right now, but we are, against who we are as an adult, we are shut down because of what happened and how we were wired as children, okay? So you've got to make that commitment. I can't sit there with you every day and make that commitment. It's a commitment to me that 1 minute, once a day, with consistency, I'm going to move my body in a different manner. Now, yeah, that's right, Kalina, they do work better. They actually do work better. The male products do work better in cleaning all the, what do you call it? Perspiration. We don't call it sweat. We call it women perspire, I was told. Getting it all off our body. It just feels so clean. But then I had this one so that afterwards I could feel nice too. Smell nice. Smell, yeah, it is very soft. It's a very different feeling on your body than what the men's product is. But the videos that I put down below when I'm finished, choose one of the exercises, and if you are bed bound or chair bound, you can do these exercises for one. You pick one exercise for 1 minute. And I know I'm repeating myself, but that's because hypoarousal makes our memory crap. Okay, let's be real about it. My memory, well, I just didn't have one, okay? When I began to be able to drive again, if I took the kids through the Macca's drive-through, or if you're overseas, Mickey D's drive-through, then I had to get them to say one thing at a time in order that I could relay it and then come back and relay it to the, speaker, to the server through the speaker, because I had no memory, and I need to be able to reinforce to you that 1 minute once a day. And listen, use your phone. Message. Time it. Okay. Now, I had a client and I said to her, she was in full-blown hyperarousal, stress to the max, emotional reaction, and I said to her, 1 minute. Just trust me, if you do this for 1 minute, it will help you, not only does it help us get more oxygen in, but it will help get you out of the hyperarousal. Now, the hyperarousal means we're in our limbic system, we're emotional, and we cannot get into the prefrontal cortex, which is our logic, okay? Our logic makes everything become factual. What is the truth in this situation? We need to be able to do that to practice getting back into it. One, because we never had it as children. Okay, it was not part of our childhood development that we were able to use logic, because the emotional realm from what happened to us, our brain couldn't process it, and that's not our fault. What we need to do as adults, though, is say, okay, so that happened, my brain is still operating from that perspective, so what am I going to do, and how can I equip myself to break free of it? And this is what we do. 1 minute, once a day, commitment, consistency, and it will start to shift things around. And what we want to do is become aware of where I'm pointing to my body because this is how it started for me, become aware of which part of our body the muscles are tight in. Basically, my body was so tight all over, I didn't perspire, okay? Now, when I first started doing the breathing for 1 minute a day, my throat was so tight. I couldn't feel the breath go any deeper than my throat. Obviously, it was going deeper into my body, but we need to build the feeling awareness of our breath into our body, okay? It's in doing the internal work that we begin to be able to take back our life from what our brain was programmed as a child to react, okay? And we have a commitment to ourselves and our own recovery. And it will feel really funny saying it's about me, but it is about me because I was wired as a child to always think about everybody else. Okay? So now I have to learn, we have to do everything back to front. I now have to learn what we did as children. As children, it's normal for us to say it's about me, but when we come from the families and the genetic heritage that we've had, we never learnt that it was about me. We learnt that it was about everybody else, okay? And I'm like you, I spent years putting everybody else first, okay? So we have to go through the process of recognising it's about me in order that we come into a place of our own inner strength, our own inner power, and we are then able to help people from that place of power. Because when we do that, we know where somebody else is at and how we have to step back. We know what we can and can't do, and we can honour where we have to step back. So first of all, we've got to learn it's about me in order that we build this deep awareness into ourselves of what's happening when we're in hypoarousal, okay? The 1 minute a day is to increase your oxygen, because as we increase our oxygen and increase our blood flow, remember it goes through the brain, then we're going to build a deeper awareness of when our brain takes us off track. Now, our goal at the moment is to recognise when hypoarousal's hijacked us and we're losing time and we didn't even know, okay? And then we want to move it back. Over time, we'll be able to recognise when our body actually begins to emotionally, it's called emotional dysregulation, and it means that our emotions, we've been triggered in our brain, but our emotions are starting to go all over the shop, okay? There's nothing logical about them. Get yourself a journal. I don't care if it's on a phone, because on a phone you can get journals and you can get them that are lockable as well, so no one else can get in. Or the best thing to do is handwrite, okay? Get a journal and write. We need that cognitive function of getting it out of us, okay? And as we self-reflect on our day, we then become aware or can build in this consistent awareness of how and when we get triggered, what triggers us, how and when we've lost hours due to hypoarousal, okay? And as we build this awareness, it makes it easier to start to reclaim our life as well. Now, time, it's about a bigger picture. I was explaining to the lady down at gym today, because she has osteoarthritis through her body, I said to her, it's in the normal world. So in the normal world where people's brains develop normally, ours develop back to front, their world is all about quick results. Okay, so if you look at anything that advertises any kind of program, whether it's self-help, whether it's gym, whether it's getting you a job, whatever, it's all about instant results. I want you to put the instant results over to one side, okay? We're not here about instant results. We're here about permanent results, okay? Now, as we go through the recovery process, we want to know that that 1 minute every day is about having a permanent result. It's not about a quick result. The good news is that as you do the 1 minute a day, you actually begin to experience how things change. It takes that little for us to know change, okay? All right, that's a lot to take in today. Feel welcome to listen again, okay? Because remember, our memory needs to soak this in, our mind needs to soak this in, and we need to know at a heart level that it's got to be about me now, and it's not selfish, okay? It's not from the ego perspective that it's about me. This is from the heart perspective that it's about me. I need to do this in order that I can rewire my brain, okay? Okay, yeah, the lost time definitely is due to the hypoarousal, Serena. Our brain, when it gets triggered, okay, it basically takes all of us offline. Literally takes all of us offline. Not even remotely figuratively. It literally takes our thoughts, our emotions, beliefs, our whole internal system offline because we got triggered, because somewhere in our brain it says, oh, I'm not safe, okay? And that's why we do the journaling, to build that awareness back into, oh, so I've been offline for a few hours. What was it that triggered me? And when we know what triggered us, what incident in our life, even though we may not know the specific trigger, we can know that we're being triggered and we want to go, right, okay, what do I need to learn about that? What do I need to, it's not just educate, it's also where do I need to encourage myself to understand more, okay, about what's happening. And this is where trauma recovery is interpersonal. So we don't do it on our own. We've always got someone that we are talking to. We've always got someone that we're, educating, getting strategies, etc., etc. Because the trauma happened with somebody else. They weren't healthy, etc., etc. So we need a safe relationship. We need to know that we can build into ourselves this deeper awareness of our internal system, of the internal system that we developed as a child, okay? And that way, we're able to then, as the adult, go, right, this is what I'm safe to do. So if I explain it in stages of, there were times when I went down to gym and I knew I was triggered, so I didn't have the language for it at the time, but I knew that I was triggered. So I was in hypoarousal. I knew that the anxiety was coming because I could feel my whole body in anxiety and wanting to run. Now, sometimes I was able to say, right, I'm safe, I'm going into gym. Other times I had to go, what's happening internally is too much for me and I have to go home so I know I'm safe. Other times I'd be in gym and I only do one thing at gym, to stick to one. And I ride a bike and I go, right, I've been triggered. I'm sitting on the bike, I'm happy as, and I know that I'm triggered because the anxiety starts up. And I taught myself then to say, I am safe, but to feel it, I am safe. and to look around and go, I've been here, to make it rational. And when we can hook back into the rational, we can learn to stop the hypoarousal in its track. And it doesn't just happen once, it happens over time. Okay, so that's why everything we do is big term. We're building into a bigger picture over time. And the thing is, we can be cranky with ourselves, but it's not about us. Until now, science didn't even have the language. It's only over the last 5 years that science and the professional vocations higher are starting to bring forward the language that we need in order that we can understand what's happening internally. And when I can understand with language what's happening internally, my brain then can make sense of it. And when my brain can make sense of it, then I can begin to start to move in a different direction for myself as well. Okay, and that the infographic that I sent you the other day, it will help with language about what's happening too. Okay, that's it for today. Thanks everyone for joining in. I will put this infographic down below as well in the post so that you can keep hold of it and remember. We're looking initially at how much our body is shut down, all right? And mine was just shut down, like out of it, because frozen, because I was in a situation where I should have been safe and I wasn't. Okay, and I only know that through looking back. I didn't know it at the time. You're welcome. And remember, and this is going to be my thing now, remember, the tortoise won the race, not the hare. So we're going to be turtles every day, and we're just going to put one foot in front of the other once a day for 1 minute, and we're going to win this race. Okay, blessings and dreams, and I will talk to you on Monday, and I want to talk to you on Monday about trust, okay, and what it means for us and where we go to from here. Okay, I'll see you guys soon. Bye for now.